Okay, will the camera focus? Let's turn on the light. I think because we are losing light as the sun sets, that probably is not helping. So anyway, um, today's day 13, as I mentioned in the last video. And yesterday, I did go into the hospital. So my fever was, it was still pretty high, but I didn't feel all that bad. But that morning, my husband sent me a message, and he's like, I want you to call the nurses line at SLU this morning and tell them about your tachycardia and your early heartbeat. Because my early heartbeat that I have it's considered mild and just like a minor issue, like doesn't really matter much. I usually notice it once every like 1 to 2 days. It'll happen. And when it does happen, it kind of feels like I've gotten punched in the chest. All the air exits my lungs, and then and it hurts, but like, then I have to like refill my lungs. But it's not like, I don't know, not considered that bad of a thing. But ever since like day 5, it'd been happening like multiple times per hour. And that exacerbation is not a good thing. Anyway, so I didn't even argue. I just told them okay. And then once the nurses line opened, I called, and I expected them to be like, yeah, we understand your family's worried about you, but like, you're right. There's not much you can do until you heal, and it's gonna take a while. Instead, they were like, yeah, that's like, problems with your heart. We want you to go to the hospital. So I wasn't expecting that at all. And so next thing I knew, the nurse who'd been tracking my care this whole time, she was preparing everything for me to go to the nearest hospital. So I packed a bag of everything just in case they like held me for a long time or even overnight. So I packed like my overnight bag, extra clothing, my laptop, packed this, so I had a record of everything. And I drove myself there because I didn't want to make my roommate wait forever. And as I mentioned before, my husband's in a different state right now. Though soon he'll be here for a whole month. So anyway, I was in the ER for about 4 hours, and they did an EKG labs to look at different enzymes affecting my heart. They did a chest x-ray, which they actually already had a chest x-ray on file from when I was in the ER back in February of last year, so they could actually compare it to a previous chest x-ray. Not everybody has that, but I do. Anyway, so I was there. Baby cat, we're making a video. She's being inappropriate. And the nurses were great. They were all really nice. They were being super cautious, with PPE and making sure that they had everything safe, because I'm an infectious individual. I was not tested. They are still only testing people who are being admitted to the hospital. Things were going fine, and then toward the end, the doctor comes in for like 3 minutes and basically scolds me for being there. He's like, "You're fine. Nothing on here is bad. He's like, you shouldn't have come in here. You've infected this entire room. Now it all has to be disinfected." And he's basically telling me that like I've gone out and I've exposed everybody. I've exposed this ER. I've exposed everybody out in public and stuff. And I'm just like, I was told I had to come here. Like, I was told by the people who are literally tracking my care. Like, this was not like my choice, and I'm not going out. Like, this is the second time I've been out of my apartment since March 17th. And I'm trying to explain that like this wasn't my choice at all. And he kept like, he literally scolding me for being there, that I shouldn't be there unless I'm literally gasping for breath. And even though I was like, I am literally like a heart patient, and there because I have extreme pre-existing conditions, we needed to make sure that I was okay. Didn't matter. And then he also told me I was only allowed to take Tylenol. um, I'm allergic to Tylenol, so I can't, and that was on my sheet under my medication allergies, so he just ignored that. And also, no, you can take other medications with COVID. It's actually like literally a myth that has been disproven several times, that you can't take ibuprofen or aspirin or anything during this. Like, it's just been disproven over and over again for the past 3 weeks straight, that you can only take Tylenol. So I'm like, he's telling me false information, and he's scolding me, and it was not fun. Did not have a good time. And then I got home. My upstairs neighbors were throwing a loud party, which they keep doing, and like literally were jumping up and down on the floor in the living room and like screaming and stuff for whatever reason. And I like hit my breaking point, and I like wrote a letter, stuck it to their door, and I'm like, from your neighbor who has COVID, please stop. Like, please don't have the loud music and the people over. Like, I need rest so bad. So that was also just a whole bunch of fun. Anyway, even through all of this though, I do feel like through yesterday and today, I am slowly improving. Though today, I have a weird symptom of everything tastes like metal. But my sore throat's going down. I do feel like, even though I still need a big nap in the middle of the day, and I still need a lot of sleep, I do feel like I have slightly more energy. My appetite is still low, but I feel like I can eat a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's because the food was already prepared for me, and maybe that's just helping. I'm not really sure. My sister and husband both like sent food to me, so that's helped a lot. So if you have friends with COVID, send them food, because they're not gonna have energy to cook. I've eaten like nothing but like cereal and ramen, and yeah, like no energy to cook. So other recommendations and things that I have for helping you through COVID. One is that there is not much you can do other than rest and get a ton of liquids. The more water that you can be taking in, and the more sleep that you can get, the better. Some things to have in your house in case you get COVID: cough drops, some cough syrup, like the basic things you would have if you did get a cold, can be helpful. I've taken ibuprofen a few times for migraines and headaches, but otherwise haven't really taken anything, though my husband wants me to start taking ibuprofen to help control my fever a little bit. It's already getting late. I'm almost ready to go to bed again. Other things I recommend: have things like Gatorade in the house. If you get nauseated, and you do lose a lot of fluids, or you end up getting like diarrhea, which is very common with this, you need like something to replenish electrolytes. So things that have been recommended are things like Pedialyte, Gatorade, anything like that. So I keep actually Gatorade powder at all times. It's part of my like tachycardia toolkit. So I've made some of that up several times. I have started making protein shakes and adding coffee into it, because I drink coffee every morning. But I've started taking some of the leftover coffee, cool it overnight, and use that to make protein shakes because I have lost muscle mass because I'm in bed all the time and I'm not able to eat enough. So I'm at the stage now where I'm like, okay, we need to repair myself. So I recommend that. What else do I recommend? Be prepared to go through a lot of clothing. Even though you'll have days where you are in the same pajamas for like 3 days straight because you are too tired to change out of them and you're absolutely disgusting and you smell terrible and you have soaked through your clothes with sweat. The fact that you're soaking through your clothing with sweat means that you're going to go through a lot of clothes. So I have like soaked through like all of my hoodies and all of my pajama pants and all of my pajamas in general and so many t-shirts and all of my athletic pants and stuff. So you're gonna very quickly go through a lot of clothes. Be prepared to have somebody do laundry for you if you don't have enough clothes to go through that time. I'm lucky enough that I have enough clothes to go through a period of time just fine. And today was the first day I had enough energy to like put stuff in the washer, though the thought of moving stuff into the dryer is I don't want to do it. So yeah. Another thing to consider, cats are susceptible. Yeah, you. All of mine have actually shown symptoms of being sick during this time over the past, especially 4 days. One of them has done some dry coughing and sneezing. This one has been way more tired than usual and did some vomiting. And the other one has just vomited all over the place and like a scary amount, to the point where my roommate came out the other night and she goes like, I don't want to scare you, but one of the kitties has thrown up literally everywhere, and we found at least 7 or 8 patches of throw up in the living room that night, and I found even more the next morning, all from the same cat. She's been way more lethargic though, is the main thing I've noticed, and it's still continued into today. Her napping has changed. She's still playing, but not as much, and so yeah, there's lots of evidence that cats are catching this and they can give it to each other, but their symptoms are milder, but definitely we've seen evidence that ours have caught it. One of the last things I'm going to say for now is that I was told by the doctor at the ER that in order to be safe to go back into society, you can have absolutely no symptoms at all for at least 3 days straight. So no fever, no sore throat, no coughing, like nothing for 3 days straight. Now, the coughing part, I've not really had much coughing except for if I eat. When I eat, and after I eat, I cough a bit. Some people apparently are having coughing that lasts like weeks afterwards. So I don't know how to address that. And I'm not a medical doctor, so but I was told specifically like can't have a fever, can't have a sore throat, can't have these other symptoms for at least 3 days straight. So anyway, I'm gonna drink this even though everything tastes like metal. For whatever reason that started today. Maybe I'll stop tasting things altogether, which would be preferable to taste of metal. But anyway, keep staying at home, keep social distancing. Don't go to your friend's house, don't go to your parents' house. Wash your hands a lot and eat healthfully to build up your immune systems. Make sure you're not vitamin D deficient. These are my recommendations. Yep. All right. See you guys later.